Welcome to the Pluto's Biology. We will discuss about the plant cell. A plant cell is any type of cell that comes from the organism belonging to the kingdom of plantae. All plant cells have some basic eukaryotic organization. The term cell was the first used by the English botanist Robert Hooke in 1995, right? And we will discuss about the structure of the plant cell. First of all, we will discuss about the cell wall, and the plant cell is surrounded by the rigid cell wall, and the function of the cell wall is to protect to the cell, mostly made up of the polysaccharide. The content of the polysaccharide is cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin and lignin, right? The plant cell have two types of the cell wall, the primary cell wall and secondary cell wall. The primary cell wall is thin, characteristic of the young and growing cells, right? And the secondary is the thicker, stronger and glue-like material. You can see the figure, the cell wall, right? Golgi vesicles, Golgi complex, rough endoplasmic reticulum, nucleolus, nucleus, mitochondria, plasma membrane, chloroplast, vacuoles, vacuole membrane, intermediate filaments and the microtubule filaments and ribosome. Right, we will discuss about the all organelle, right, in this video. So first, the plant cell wall, in the plant, the neighboring the cell are the bond together by the middle lamella, right? Middle lamella. Right? It is intracellular layer. You can see the cell wall and the middle lamella. The second part, the plasma membrane, also known as plasma lamella. Location in the inside of the cell wall in the plant cell, right? Plasma membrane consists of the double layer, bilayer of the phospholipid. The phospholipid molecule are the amphipathic. So what the meaning of the amphipathic? So amphipathic molecule is one molecule is hydrophilic and one hydrophobic. So hydrophilic means love the water and hydrophobic means the hate the water, right? The protein are the alpha globular protein. Each phospholipid is made up of the glycerol head and the two fatty acid. You can see the glycerol head and the two fatty acid. This is the chain tails, right? And the head is hydrophilic and tail is hydrophobic. And the plasma membrane is a selective permeable, the help in the transport across the membrane. The second, nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by the double membrane called the nuclear envelope. The material filled in the nucleus is called the nucleoplasm. The nucleus is the site of the storage or the replication of the chromosome, the composed of the DNA and the protein histone, right? The nucleus contains the densely the granular region called the nucleolus. Nucleolus help in the protein synthesis and the production of the ribosome in the cell. And next organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is continuous with the outer membrane of the nuclear envelope. These are two types, smooth and the rough endoplasmic. And smooth endoplasmic, also called the agranular endoplasmic reticulum. This type of the endoplasmic reticulum possesses smooth walls because of the ribosome are not attached, right? And this type of rough possess rough walls because of the ribosome attached. Smooth, ribosome not attached, rough, ribosome attached, right? Endoplasmic reticulum has three forms. Lamella from the systemic, vesicular, form or vesicles, tubular or form or tubules. Cisternae, vesicles, tubules. Next organelle is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is made up of one or more dictosome. The cisternae close the plasma lamella and called the transphase. The cisternae close to center of the cell called the cisternae. Okay, cis phase. Sorry. The medial cisternae are the between trans and cis cisternae, right? Medial cisternae are between the trans and cis cisternae, right? Golgi apparatus has intermediary position between ER and extracellular space, right? Golgi vesicles are referred to as the traffic police of the cell, right? Involved in the transport of the lipid molecules, measure the site of synthesis of the carbohydrate, right? Measure site of the synthesis of carbohydrate, the process of the phosphorylation of the molecules by the Golgi. Next is ribosomes. Ribosomes of rRNA and proteins. Ribosomes play the important role in the protein synthesis, and the cytoplasmic ribosomes may be found in the cytosol or attached to the or endoplasmic reticulum. In prokaryotic have 70S ribosome, and then little subunit and a bigger subunit. So little subunit 30S and bigger is the 50S. In the eukaryotic have 80S, prokaryotic 70, eukaryotic 80, and the little subunit 40 and bigger 60S. Ribosomes seen in the chloroplast and the mitochondria. Seen in chloroplast and mitochondria. First, the mitochondria, the cytoplasmic organelle. Mitochondria is site of the oxidative phosphorylation ADP synthesis, right? You can see the figure of the mitochondria. The outer membrane, less protein, permeable. Inner membrane, more protein, selective, permeable. Oxysome, the outer membrane and inner membrane, the space between perimitochondrial space, right? This is the crystal and the DNA, right? Mitochondria are surrounded by the two membrane. Outer membrane is a smooth and the inner membrane is a highly convoluted, right? Inner membrane is also characterized by presence of the Stokes particles, right? And with the heads of the containing ATPase. The folds of the inner membrane are called the crista, right? You can see the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell because of the provide of the cell energy or ATP. Shape are the variable, disc shape, oval shape, right? Chloroplast. The chloroplast surrounded by the inner and outer membrane. Chloroplast has a stroma. You can see the figure. The chloroplast, the outer membrane, the less protein, permeable, inner membrane, more protein, like the mitochondria, and the stroma, the thylakoids, the bunch of thylakoids, cranium, called the cranium, right? And thylakoid has a green pigment, chlorophyll has a green pigment, right? And then the stroma lamella, and the chloroplast has its own DNA, and the ribosome, the 70 is present. Whatever. The rich in enzyme, chloroplast rich in enzyme, the enzyme which are the required for the dark reaction. Right? The chloroplast also semi-autonomous like mitochondria. Stroma also has a grana. Chloroplast DNA is a circular and histone free. It means the chloroplast has own DNA and the protein synthesis machinery. and the inner space within the thylakoid is known as lumen. The central vacuole. Mature plant cell contain the large vacuoles. Water fill the central vacuoles, usually one or two, and the central vacuoles can occupy 18 and 90 of the total volume of the cells. Each vacuole is surrounded by the vacuolar membrane or tonoplast, right? And the vacuole contain, you can see the figure. Vacuole membrane, right? This is a vacuole, large. The vacuole contain water, organic acid, sugar and enzyme. Vacuoles has storage function and as well as to provide rigidity to plant cell, right? Next, the cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton play the important role in the maintenance of the cell shape as well as in the cell division. 3 filaments of the cytoskeleton. First, microtubule. Second, microfilaments. Third is intermediate filament. So, microtubule filament are the hollow cylindrical shape and the 25 nanometer diameter dynamic structure, and also microtubules are the composed of the polymers of the globular protein tubulin, right? And microfilaments are the 7 nanometer diameter. Microtubule 25, microfilaments 7, and the intermediate filaments 10 nanometer diameter, right? And the microfilaments are the solids, and microtubule is hollow cylindrical, and the composed of the protein globular is the actin, and the microtubule tubulin. Microfilaments actin, intermediate filaments barabar 10 nanometer diameter, and the intermediate filaments provide the mechanical strength, right? Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe and likes.